Hi everybody. In this presentation we are going to discuss about the rest of the information which is associated in the file management systems, especially the file directories and file sharing access mechanisms, that is the various way how we can able to access the get the permission from the users or the owners. So the file directories. So in this content is associated with all the file management, and a file management is a collection of files that is called as a file directory, and every directory is associated with the certain attributes as well as also the informations about the files. The attributes are like location and the ownership. Now the directory itself is a file and it can be accessed only with the help of the various file management routines. Example called as create, read, write, all are called as file management routines. And the major concern of this file management system is the storage. Now the storage is managed by the operating system only, that is how or in a where the file is to be stored, that can be managed only with the help of the operating systems. Now the table, the following table, it shows the what are the various informations associated in the files or a directory. We may say these are that is we can say it is called as the various attributes of the particular files or a directory. As per the user's point of view, what do you mean by directory? As per the user's perspective, a directory provides a mapping between the file names known to the users and applications and the file themselves. So it converts that things into the various file names. So each file entry includes the name of the file. So every file is having its own name, and but virtually all the file systems deals with the different types of files and the organizations, that is a file organizations. So these informations also exclusively provided to the users, so that we can easily store our own data, including the location and size of the data. The major important category of information for each and every file, that is the storage information, that is what is the size of the particular file or a directory and in where it is located. So all these things we need to store. So that's why it's saying that it is an important category of information. Especially in the SAD system, this is very important, because we want to control the access of the files among the various users. Typically there is a one user who created the file, that is called as a file owner. That file owner may grant a permission, several privileges, access the or grant the several privileges to the various users in the SAD systems or in the multi-user systems. And then to manage the current use of the file, and this information is especially used to manage the current use of the file and to record the history of its usage. And this is a table which shows the file attributes, the various file attributes like file name, file type, file organization, volume, starting address, sizes used, the sizes allocated, so all these things. And the next which is associated in the file directory is the structure, that is in which structure a file or a directory is stored, that is a file is stored in the directory. So in this case we are using the simplest form to store to have the structure in the directory. In some of the directories it have a header information about the particular file, so that it reduces the amount of time to spend in the to search or access the particular file, and it also reduces the storage. And to improve the speed, to we are using this type of header informations which is associated in each file. The simplest form to store the directory, that is the structure, is a list of entries, one for each file, and this structure is represented by a simple sequential file, and with the name of the file is acting as the key. For a single user we are not having any much of problem in that, but in this mechanism is very inadequate, since the size of the information is large, and as well as also in the SAD systems, that is especially in interactive systems and SAD systems, and this concept, that is this structure, is inadequate to access the particular files. To understand the requirements, first what we need to know is, we need to understand what is the type of operations we are going to perform on the directory. So this will facilitate the systems to provide the various access mechanisms to the various users, that is the various privileges to the various users. The operations are a search operation. We want to search any specific file in the particular directory. Then we need to create the file, and after creating the file we need to add that file into the respective directory. Delete a file from the directory, we need to remove any one of the file. List the directory, for the single user it lists what are the user files are there with the some least amount of attributes also. So it is going to be display what are the various files are associated in the single users with the attribute informations. And update directory, in this case, if I am changing any type of any permissions of the particular user in the specific file, that we need to update into the entire system, so that it can be act accordingly. So in this case, as I said earlier, every files is associated with the one directory, so every user is having a one directory. Likewise, in a SAD multi-user system, we need to control all the users, so the one master directory is going to be used, and this master directory is the entry for every user's directory, and it provides the address and access control informations about the particular directory. So here we are going to maintain the simple list form for maintaining the directory. In this case, we want to see in specifically the file name, it must be a unique, then only we can able to enforce the various access restrictions on the directories. A more powerful and flexible scheme to have the structure in the directory, that is called as either a hierarchical or a tree structured mechanism. So whatever may be the structures, one directory is a master directory. Under this we are going to create the so many subdirectories, and the followed by the files as the leaf node. So this is a diagram for the tree structured directories. First we have a master directory which is having the control of all directories of the various users. Then under this we have a subdirectory, and once again we have a, if we can create the subdirectory, if we want a subdirectory we can create it, otherwise we can have the files. So in this case, at any level a directory it to the specific directory or the specific files. So in this case, the major question it arises, in what way, that is how each directory and subdirectory is organized. In a simple way we can make use of the sequential file, but the major problem is if the file size is too large, obviously we need to have the hashed structure. And next I will move on to the topic that is called as a naming. So each and every file it should have a name, then only it is easy for us to access a specific file. That name is called as a symbolic name. So all the symbolic name, it should be a unique name, then only we can able to remove the ambiguous among the various files and the various users. So every file is accessed only with the help of the specific path from the root directory to the end to the file. So it is moving down from the top to the bottom. So a path name it specifies a root directory to the specific files is starting from a it uses the top to bottom approach, and it facilitates the selection of the file names also. So say in this example of pre-structured directory, if the file name is ABC, so I can easily specify the file name with the help of that user, that a master directory, the path name is a master directory, and then a user B, and then a word, and then unit A, then I can access my file. So this is a complete file path name, the absolute path name of the specific file. And the naming, that another one important thing is we can able to understand which is my current working directory also. So in any interactive users or interactive systems, every process is associated with the current directory, that is called as a present working directory. So all the user files are referenced in that directory also. So whenever if the user is logged on in the interactive systems, so all the files and default working directory is the home directory only. Next is a file sharing. So in this we are going to discuss about the various file access permissions and what are the users are associated with that. So in a multi-user operating systems, so all the files are to be shared among the various users. In this case, there are the two major issues. One is called as access rights, and how we can able to manage the simultaneous access about the particular file among the various users. So the access right is a file system. It provides a convenient and flexible tool to allow the users to access the particular files using a various file sharing concepts. So we need to have a number of access. One thing we need to keep in mind, we need to have a number of options so that it is easy for us to access the particular file, and that can be controlled in a very easier manner. And then typically a user or a group of users are granted with the certain access rights of the particular file, and the user who created the particular file, that is called as a owner, that owner has to grant certain access permissions or access privileges to the various users in the interactive systems or shared systems. Now the various access permissions are, one is called as a none. So if any user is having the none permission, so it means that the user will not be allowed to read or write any directory or a file in the systems. And next is knowledge. In this case, the user known, that is they determine the particular file is exist and who is the owner, and if they want to perform any operations, obviously they need to access, they need to get the privileges from the owner. And execution, the user can load and execute a program, but they cannot able to copy it. Reading, they can read the file for any purpose including copying and then execution. So the any user, if they are having the read permissions, they can easily read the file. It implicit the copying and execution permission is also granted to the particular user. Appending. So once any user is having the permission of append, then we can add the data to the particular file, and only at the end, but they cannot able to modify or delete any of the file contents. Only they can able to append, because the given permission is for append, it is not for the modified. The append can be done only in the end of the files alone. That is, a new file content can be appended, can be added into the end of the file only. So next is updating. Any user is having the updating permissions, they can modify, they can delete and add to the file data. So they can read the file initially, rewrite it completely, or in any part of the file they can remove it. So all complete privileges they are having it. Change protections. Now in this case we are going to change the permissions to the different users. Since the system is supported with the different users, we can change the access permissions of the users at any moment with the help of the operating systems. Deletion, then the user can delete the particular file in the file systems. If any user is having the update permission, so automatically in default they are having the knowledge permission and execution permission, reading and appending permissions. At any moment, a owner can revoke the access list of the particular file to the specific users, and they can able to grant other access permissions also. Now, as I said earlier, there are a variety of users are there in the system. The operating systems allows there are variety of users. In that case, we have three different types of users. One is called as a single user, that is a specific users. They are the individual users, and a user group, a group of users with the common name among common name which comes under some membership forms, and all, that is a public. And simultaneous access. So when access is granted to append or update a file to more than one users, obviously in what way they are going to access or update the particular file. So for this case is it leads to the conflict, because we need to maintain the consistency of the data also. So we need to maintain a particular discipline, which will be like we need to have a locking mechanism for accessing the particular files to the specific users. Especially what we have seen in the readers writers problem, the same sort of locking mechanisms can also be implemented, but we have to addresses the issues of mutual exclusion and deadlock conditions here. So I think so you are very familiar with the various access permissions and what are the operations we are going to perform in the directory and under the files, and in what way all the files are associated with the various directories, especially which is in the category of the two way. One is a hierarchical manner, or otherwise a tree structured one. If the file is large, then we have to make use of the indexed mechanism. We have to make use of the hashed index, so that the access we can get the shortest access time. And there are so many privileges are there to access a particular files, and we have three different types of the users. One is called as a specific user, that is an individual user, and a group of users, and a third one is a public. Thank you.